What's up, CC Network? It's Steven here. You know, we got David from ThemDamnMexicans coming in. Going to give us a little bit of an insight into what he's about, what his business does, and how he's going to spread some love in the community today.
Man, thank you, for having us here. Thank you to the CCN Network for allowing me to come and just, shed a little light on what we do. ThemDamnMexicans is a slowly becoming a multimedia agency, where we have a podcast, we have a clothing line, we do events, we do the community work such as a toy drive, and, we look to do more of that. We have entertainment label, music, pretty soon. Hopefully we'll be getting into the film side of it as well. So yeah, we got a lot, going on. So yeah, appreciate you.
That's awesome, bro. What's the real story behind coming up with the idea of it all?
Man, the real story is funny because I was on MySpace. This is back in the MySpace days. If you don't know what that is, you Google it. It's a long time ago. But I discovered an artist by the name of Big Jerb, RP to Big Jerb. And for some reason, I wanted to manage him and I offered to manage him even though I had no experience whatsoever. But I wanted to get into the music industry. I was a big fan of like the Master P's, the Rockefellers, the Jay Prince, Rap-A-Lot, all that. So I offered to manage him. He said, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to come up with my own management company, and I kid you not, I was at home in my apartment one day and I heard a white woman's voice say, "Them damn Mexicans," like saying, "There goes them damn Mexicans," and I was like, that sounds pretty good. And I told him, the name, and he laughed, but he liked it, and he designed the logo that you see now. So his contribution to this brand, to this company is huge.
Yeah, he was really just out there cultivating that community, huh?
Yeah. He was definitely out there doing his thing as an artist. He's where Willie D from the Ghetto Boys was a big fan of his. I actually saw him at the funeral, so I thought that was major respect on his part. So shout out to Willie D.
He was really getting that loving, man.
Yeah.
So what are some of those values that you guys really stand by with ThemDamnMexicans?
So one of the slogans that we have, and we use it in our hashtags, is embrace the culture. That's actually the name of our annual event that we have, and we started doing that to shed light on brown businesses, brown business owners, businesses, artists, entertainment, just everything brown, because I felt we had a lack of that kind of thing for the Latino community. Yeah. So we did that to put, I guess you could say our people on or whatever, or give them an opportunity to shine and be the spotlight. So when we say embrace the culture, I always get asked, what do you mean by that? And to me, it's embracing what your culture is, because if anybody knows, if you've been outside of Houston, the Latinos, the Mexicans in Houston are different from the California Mexicans. We're even different from the ones in Dallas, even within our own state. Like Houston is a different beast. Yeah. And we can, dive into that a little bit more. But, some of the values are embracing our culture more, buying brown, and just supporting each other, because as a majority, as far as the population goes, why we shouldn't have more people like Mexican OT, or D Baby, those guys that are running, at the top of the game right now. Yeah. It should be more of us up there, because there is a lot of talent, we work with a lot of those guys. So, we definitely push that agenda, but, we spoke about this before about being entrenched and involved in multiple cultures and communities. So, that goes back to just us being authentic, and we really just appreciate the love that we get from the people.
Yeah, man, without the community, you really don't have much to give back to, If you eat, everybody gets to eat.
Yeah, that's true. And, like I said, we just talked about that. And it's just about creating opportunities. It was an artist that I was working with. He once did an interview, and they asked him about the relationship that we had. And he's like, well, he's that guy that he'll toss you the alley-oop. Yeah. Are you going to slam dunk or are you going to miss it? What I create is opportunity. And what you do with it is, you're going to fumble it or you're going to do it.
Superstar moments. Pressure makes diamonds, am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of other labels and record companies, all that type of stuff. What really sets you apart from them?
Man, that's a good question. Excuse me. What sets us apart is just, again, we preach organic and authenticity and just being true to the culture, the music, and yourself. I don't let them rap about, shooting up the club and shooting at the ops and that kind of thing. If that's not what you're doing, and you know, I don't like them to embellish. You know, now if you're using it in some kind of a way that's clever with it, then yeah, I get it. But you know, that's not what we promote. You know, and the fact that again, I go back to the love that we get from the people. People really hit support. We just dropped a single actually that all three of our artists are on. It's called Perfect Timing. And actually the producer, his name is Perfect. Well, he goes by Perfect Timing. Yeah. And the artist on it is Amazing Ike, Type Shit, and Mike Garza. Okay. And they've never worked together before. So I put them together on the track and I thought it would be a good idea. And it's been getting really a lot of views, a lot of plays. People are sharing it. So I knew I was right when we did that. So I think again, but I think being under the TDM umbrella helps that a lot because anytime we put something out, the love is there. Yeah, they just like what you're doing. They just love what we do, man, and they support it 100%. The amount of DMs I get, it's amazing. You know, and like I said, without the people, it's really, it's nothing. Especially because like a lot of people my age and like other audiences, a lot of what they listen to is very influential in how they think. So if they really go into depth of like, all I'm listening to is, you know, drugs, sex, money, that's all their life is going to be consumed by. If you listen to something positive, like just something really enchanting to the soul, you're going to be more likely to just follow through with that and build up ideals for yourself, you know? For sure. And I think that's really important. Yeah. But so I wanted to ask you as well. So do you guys have a few customers and consumers that are involved with your business, right? Yeah, for sure. Like I said, when we first started, I think the first thing I did was I got 12 shirts made, right? And they went. Yeah, ages, people in Arizona and California and Florida were some of the first people to purchase, you know, those 12. I said, okay, well, did another 12, and then it got to where like, now we have multiple designs. Now we have different styles, different colors, you know, yeah, so this one is the more, you know, professional, you know, like I tend to be like, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna wear when I'm, you know, either do an interview or go in a professional setting, but I still want to represent. Of course. Because I'm my own walking billboard. I'm that's the best way to do it. Yeah. You're a walking advertisement. Myself, so yeah, for sure. So with that being said, what are some of the like biggest experiences with customers that have really just embodied what you guys are about? I mean, anytime people spend money with us, I take it as it's a very moving thing because as anybody knows, when you purchase something, it's because you really want it. Yeah. Or you're really supporting the actual movement. And so like, I appreciate anybody that's ever spent any kind of money with us, you know, because that just leads me to believe that what we're doing and what we're putting out is good. It's quality product. It looks good. And you're able to represent, you know, your culture. You're really getting it out there. You're like, damn, if they can really support me, then imagine what I could do for them. I love when my mama wears my gear, you know, and when she sees something I got, she wants it. You know, she's like, oh, you got a beanie? I want that too. You know, we got tote bags, so I need one of them too. You know, I'm like, yeah, whatever you want, Mom. You know that it's a hit. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, and then we've had, you know, Mexican OT, Peso, people like that wearing, you know, our stuff. If you go to our Instagram page, they got the product on. You know, I listen to them quite a bit. So yeah, that's for sure, man. Okay, cool. Yeah, so anytime we meet somebody, you know, we bless them with some gear, and then I see them later on wearing it. I think it's dope. Yeah, especially like imagine if it's ever just in a music video. Exactly, and some of our close-ins is some music videos, but not any of theirs. But you know, one day I'm sure it will. Yeah, it will. Don't even worry about it. It's gonna get there. Especially like with your brand, you know, it makes a difference in somebody else's life just from the way that they kind of articulate around your business. I'd say for sure. So. With that being said, like, how would you say you really give back to the community with that? Because you said people like Peso and Mexican OT are repping it. So who else can really get it out there and help build that up for you? You know, I think the everyday person that can, you know, wear our gear. I get texts all the time. Man, I just see somebody wearing your shirt. I see somebody with your hoodie on. And that means the world to me that people see that. Man, shout out to my boy, Infamous Tex at Hustletown. You know, I saw him at a toy drive that they did last year, and he saw my hoodie and he pointed at the logo and he says, "Man, good job with the branding on that. I see it everywhere I go," because he's with 97.9 The Box and all that. So he travels all over the city doing events and doing things like that. So for him to say he sees it everywhere, it's a big compliment to and a big testament to what we do and what we're putting out. So as far as giving back in that aspect, I think it raises awareness to who we are as a brand. It makes people want to go and see, man, what is this brand that everybody's wearing, or what is this brand that you got? Like, you know, even the message on the back that we have on most of our shirts, it's we will not apologize for embracing our culture.
Nah, you should never be.
So
you were born into it. Why should you apologize?
So we want to be proud of where we come from and represent, and being able to represent. So, and more than anything, we want to inspire the next Mexican OT, the next Peso, the next ThemDamnMexicans. We want to be the one to inspire that idea or that person. So
good thing, inspiration. It's all about the youth coming up.
Exactly.
So, it's bigger than us.
I've coached youth sports for the last 15, 16 years. Anything from baseball to softball to football, basketball, whatever the case might be. So I've always been invested into the youth. You know, pretty soon we'll also be sponsoring youth teams with the name. You know,
okay. You want to see it on a basketball jersey?
Yeah,
AAU style.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
AAU teams. You know, even putting them in tournaments. You know, when I was growing up, we would play in the Hoop It Up tournaments, the 3-on-3 tournaments. We would love to do something like that. We sponsor the kids. Hey, you just wear our jersey. We'll pay for everything. You just go play and win. Come back with the trophy, though. You know?
Oh, of course. You gotta have winners, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. Best of the best. They gonna get there. Wearing your stuff, they for sure gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, are you any? How would you say you are with like the whole green thumb thing? Like, would you be big with that with like the materials, or how does that kind of implement into you? Like, are you guys like an eco-friendly type of thing as well, or is it more just like straight to the point?
Yeah, we're pretty much straight to the point. Yeah. Eco-friendly. That's actually something that I don't think I've ever thought of. But
because I know there's some people
to look into. Yeah,
they really get out there like, I really want that stamp of approval from all the vegans and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know too many vegans, but that's another thing that we've talked about on our podcast, our talk shows is why don't we as minorities, you know, work on our health wise more, you know, and all this came about because I'm diabetic, so like, but of course I know how I ate and how I drank as growing up, and even as an adult, like I did this to myself, you know. It's like, why don't we care about that more, you know, in our communities? So that's another thing we try to do is just bring these conversations, these topics up, you know, and just talk about it.
Especially because your body, it's an ecosystem, it's a temple, you know.
Exactly.
What you put in is going to be put out.
Exactly.
So it's a really important thing to make sure you take care of yourself, so that way you can take care of others the same way.
For sure.
You know, but I'm sure there's been challenges along the way. What were some significant challenges that you guys really had to overcome, and where did it put you at to understand today?
Man, one of my favorite quotes is, you know, is something Nipsey Hussle said, R.I.P. Nip. He once said, man, it ain't like I have it figured out. He goes, I just didn't quit. No matter what came, and you know, and that was the part that one of the parts he said. But and same with me. When I heard that, I was like, man, because life throws things at you, especially when you're about to take that next leap to the next level. You're gonna come across some BS, man, and I've had it. Everything from, you know, betrayals or people intentionally trying to sabotage me, or financial woes, health wise, even personal things, you know, in life, death in the family. You know, I lost my brother-in-law 2 years ago now, and that was tough. And in the midst of what I'm doing, that could have easily made me say, you know what, let me just stop what I'm doing because I'm depressed or I'm sad, you know, because of what happened. But instead I pushed through it. Not that I didn't care. I loved him to death, and I know he would be supporting me right now if he was here. But I know that he'd be like, hey man, stop being soft and go, you know, go do that, bro.
He'd want you to do it for not only for him, but for you.
Yeah, for sure. So when things like that come, man, you have to push through it. And people might say, man, that might be easy for you to say. And I'm like, it is, but because I've done it. It's not, I'm just saying this because it sounds good on camera, it sounds good on tape. I'm saying it because I've actually done it and I've been through it.
Yeah.
You know, has this road been easy? No, not at all. There's, you know, I still have struggles. I still have things that, you know, it takes money to make money. And if you're doing this independently and you're the one putting up the money, yeah, it's hard. You know, I don't have an investor. I don't have a lot of rappers have sugar daddies. I don't got that. I don't got nobody putting money into what I'm doing.
It's just you.
And pimping me out. Nah, it's just me.
That's right.
So it's just one of those things. Like, you just got to push through, man. You got to can't quit.
Yeah, but
especially if you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah, you're a walking proof. Just the best path isn't always the easiest.
Yeah.
I think that's really something special with that.
Yeah,
it's important. But how? Let me think. How can I word this? How did you really change somebody else's ideals of how the Mexican culture would be implemented in Houston? Because I know some people, whether they're a little against it, they're all for it. How did you kind of shape up to be where it is?
I think everything started with conversations.
Mm-hmm.
We have conversations amongst each other and with artists and other, influencers or other people who do podcasts. And the conversation is always like, does the Mexicans in Houston have an identity? Because a lot of people say, oh, well, what we get a lot of is, oh, y'all want to be black is what we get. And what people that say that don't realize is like, man, where I grew up at, it was nothing but Mexicans and blacks. So there was no, oh, I'm acting. We were just acting the way we when we hang out, that's how we all act.
Yeah.
If that just happens to be how they think about us, because over there is different. And that's why I say every region is different. So we want to bring awareness to not only what we do or who we are, but that it's okay to embrace your culture, whatever your culture might be, because I guarantee our cultures are different. I'm sure they're similar in a lot of ways, but for the most part, the way I grew up, the way you grew up, I'm sure it was different.
Yeah, there's obviously, but that's what makes us unique too.
Exactly.
That's the best part about it. You can come together and appreciate those differences.
Yeah.
That's what really helps the community grow. And it's just a really beautiful thing to see.
And we love to link with other like-minded individuals. I don't care if you're black, white, Russian,
don't matter.
We have Salvadorians on our team, people from El Salvador that are on our team. So that I don't care about that. That doesn't matter to me. To me, I judge you by, are you a solid individual? Yeah.
Character.
Yep.
How much
How's
heart
your character? What's your integrity like?
Yeah.
Or do you do anything for the dollar? Nah, I don't want that around me. I don't want that kind of thing or that type of people. I'm like, look, we're about trying to grow to go and get the bigger bag. Of course, people I think
because you still got to pay bills. But at the end of the day, it's like if you have people that you're able to feed with you, then you could definitely give back, help pay their bills, they'll help pay yours.
It's like you said earlier, we can all eat together. One of my favorite things to say is, man, if we can win together, why not? Like, it sounds simple, right? But it really is. Like, if we can win together, why not?
Yeah, that's like what soccer teams, they got over 30 players or so.
Yeah,
you gotta have subs, bench, all the starting 11.
Baseball teams carry 25 players on a roster. Like, not every one of them play every day.
Yeah,
but if you win a championship, he get a ring. Everybody gets a ring.
Yeah,
so that's just how it is, man. Not everybody can be the coach.
Yeah,
so
that's very true. So then, what's next?
Man, what's next?
Where do you go from here? How do you capitalize?
How do we capitalize? So again, we started the entertainment portion of it this year. Our artist type shit, she's dropping February. Mike Garza's dropping in the summer, and Amazing Ike is dropping in December. We have an event March 2nd at Tequila Bees. We're bringing Loud City Society from San Antonio down, and we're performing together. More travel, more expanding the brand, different cities, different platforms, going on different people's podcasts and doing interviews just to promote what we have going on as well. So, this is something that I think is huge, and I love it. I love every opportunity. Trust me, anything that I'm offered like this, man, I love it. And I don't care if you're Drink Champs or I don't care if you're, ThemDamnMexicans. Like, there's a platform for everybody. We have. Our big event is this year, September 14th, Embrace the Culture. We're still working on the location. I'm thinking it'll be at the same place that we had it last year at the Spindle Tap Brewery. We had close to 400 people come out, performances from people from California, Phoenix, San Antonio, all came down to perform. This year, we have people from Seattle that want to come out, people from Canada, more people from California. So it started, and I think that's just so dope, man. And it'll be the 5-year anniversary, so I know it's going to be huge.
Congrats on that, man.
Yeah. So,
5 years, especially more.
Yeah, to be able to do something, consistently that long, it's and then for it to continuously grow.
That's a big step. Like that's a really big step, especially like having such a diverse crowd with you behind the scenes and with the front lines. It's like you gotta ask kind of like what are the big things that fuel it,
and then we have our 3rd annual toy drive in December as well. So, and then like I said, we want to do more in the community, community work. We're quite possibly talking about doing a back to school drive, or at least partner with somebody to do that as well.
Yeah. That'd be dope, especially because a lot of school supplies, they're getting expensive, man. Especially the more like techie they get, it's too much money.
Yeah, it is. I didn't realize how expensive things were nowadays, but like you said, they require so much now. So
yeah, everything is just inflated like crazy.
So we just want to be able to help our communities out, man. Help the people that are truly in need, and that sort of thing.
That's important. That's really important, especially because like I wanted to ask, do you have any like big stories of how a customer really helped like shape up your brand and be where it is? Any big ideas or something like that?
We had actually this past year we had a couple. Shout out to my boy Rob V and his wife. They purchased like 15 shirts from me because they were going down to South Padre Island he was going to perform. He actually does R&B music. He was going down to. And he wanted to promote my brand for me. And, so I gave him a good price and, he bought all those shirts for me, and then of course they kept some. And things like that, always motivate me because it's like, man, people really believe in your brand. People really believe in what you preach. And then when they meet me and they get to know me, they're like, man, you really are what you're saying you are, and
I'm really doing this. Like,
yeah. So it's like that, man.
It's not a dream no more. It's reality.
When I'm on stage and I look into the crowd and I see hundreds of people at my event, I'm just blown away. Like, yo, this is really like,
it's reality.
It's reality. Like I put this together. I did this. But I mean, I have a great team as well. But for the most part, I'm very hands-on and day-to-day with everything. But as we grow bigger, of course, we gotta have more hands on deck. But again, shout out to the whole team, man, and shout out to anybody that supports us and continues to support us, man. It's genuine. It's love. So.
Yeah, I love that, man. Especially because, like, if you're out here setting trends, I assume with that. Mm-hmm. So, what are some more trends you're trying to come up with? What are you trying to cultivate?
Man, that's a good question. That's a great question. I think we definitely want to continue what we're doing, but again, at the end of the day, if we're not growing and not only growing, but I have a friend of mine, a young lady. She wants to get into podcasting. She's inspired by what I'm doing, and she's asking for my help and whatnot. So I said, okay, we can. So I've had her on one of the episodes. I've interviewed her before just to kind of let her see. So we want to see that. We want to be able to create other brands. We want to see people branch off from under us. I always think about companies like Rock Nation, Rockefeller, they had Kanye West come out, and then Kanye went on to do, put out other artists himself. Rihanna came from Rock Nation, so it was just something that being able to have a long reach with what we do and being able to put other people on in a position to win. That's the number one trend that we want. We want, again, everybody to eat, and if it's at our expense or you separate from what we do, cool. Hey, as long as you do it the right way.
I'm sure they'll still come work with you and everything too, though. Sure. Because it's really about creating bonds. Because they say, it's not about what you know, but who you know. Yeah. So if you know enough people that'll really get you out there and just help out, I feel like that's a really big thing. Because then everybody really gets to eat.
That's true. It's about who you know, man, and I can open doors that some people might not be able to, to get through. And I always tell my team, like, look, if a door's open to me, it's open to you as well. Just, so it's just us continuing to opening those doors and creating our own lane, because another part of why we do what we do is because we got tired of asking. Yeah. We got tired of waiting for somebody else to give us an opportunity. So we created our own. Yeah. I wanted my own talk show. Well, we just going to do it. I wanted my own clothing line. Hey, we're going to do it. I wanted to do my own events. We're doing them. So if you think that it's impossible, it's not, man. It's you got to put in the work, put God first, and work hard, man, and keep going. Don't quit. Don't give up.
Yeah, So if that's the case, what kind of advice can you really give the young up and comers that are trying to start maybe a label or a podcast show, radio show, anything like that, even a clothing brand? What kind of tips can you give them?
Don't be afraid to ask questions, man. Like you want to, I know a lot of the podcast. I just did an episode for the 1 year anniversary of our talk show where it was me and 5 other podcasters in Houston, all, Mexicans and all doing kind of the same, we have different platforms. They do it differently, but I had them all on one episode and we had like a roundtable discussion about these sort of things, like how we can do things better and differently. All those guys, myself, we're all open to conversations. Like if you want to ask questions, by all means, please do. Cause I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had to ask.
It really is.
So don't be afraid to ask questions and put in the work. And you have to be able to invest in yourself. Because if you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect somebody else to come in and just, hey, here's, 5, 10 racks or whatever and do whatever you want with it. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, especially like, it's like, they tell you can't give love to somebody if you don't love yourself, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't invest in yourself, nobody's going to want to invest in you for real.
Yeah, I got people all the time, man. They want something for free, but don't want to,
invest in it. It's
like they want to, I always say about my shows, like I get people all the time, they want to perform at my event, but never even been to my event. Yeah. It's like, at least come out one time and check it out, and come talk with me and let's at least build that bridge, because everybody that performs at my events, I have personal relationships with them outside of the music. So, and they're talented as well. So it's not just because he's my friend type of thing. No, these are talented individuals. I think we did the Rock Fest here earlier last year, and I was able to bring some artists that are they're not even signed to me. We're just good friends. And I was able to have them perform. Our DJ Obedient, he was able to have a set on here. So, I mean, it was again, we just want to create opportunities and keep those trends going. And when you bless others, they bless others. And it's a ripple effect. It keeps going.
Yeah. But man, finally, I got to ask you, what's that big dream? What's your final vision? What mark are you trying to leave on this world?
Man, legacy is everything. I want to one day be able that this company becomes the multimedia agency that I think and believe it can become. And that one day my kids can just step in when it's my time to go, that my kids can come in and take over. And if they don't want to do it, they can sell it and, get the money for it or whatever the case, whatever it may be worth at the time. But I want to be able to leave something better for them. My parents, they're from Mexico. They didn't know anything about this. They didn't know anything about being entrepreneurs, or that you could have your own business. We were just taught to go to school, graduate, go to college, get a job, retire. But realistically, how often does that happen? I know people that retired and died a week later or died a month later, and they worked 30 years of their life at a place they hated, for what? So I definitely want to create change in that aspect and leave my kids something more than what I had. And again, it was nothing against my parents. I love them to death. You know?
But you learn from them. Like, this is what I learned.
Yeah, I learned.
Like, I want to do something better.
So we definitely want to leave that mark, man, and become just one of the biggest agencies in the world for Latinos all over the world. And I think we're slowly getting there, and slowly but surely, it takes time, man. Ice Cube said, he's like, if you ain't prepared to make money the first 5 years of your business, don't even jump in it. I'm going into year 4, so I'm patiently waiting. It's like I said, it's hard.
There. You're doing big things, bro. That's fantastic. It's exciting to hear everything that you're doing, because now that I've learned a bit about you just from this talk, like, I'm really excited to see where you go.
No, I appreciate that.
You definitely got my support. That's awesome. I love that. It's really big to have family involved. So anything they can do to do with you, it's just more quality time you get to spend together.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my wife, my oldest son, David. They're here. I usually take him with me to events. Sometimes I'm trying to teach him to learn how to record, with the phone to kind of get footage or follow me around, and then my wife, I honestly could not do any of this without her support. Like, without her giving me the okay and kind of like, I support your dream, I support the hustle. Yeah. Because she could easily give me hell about it, and then it's like, damn, what do I do? I keep going or do I stop? What do I cherish more? But the fact that she does join me, it means the world to me, because it just shows that that's where the love and the support is. Like, she's supporting the dream. Yeah. So shout out to her. Shout out to them.
Well, there you have it, man. Go get it back to you, cultivators. Thank you guys for joining us with David. And we'll see you at the next little instance. You know what I'm saying? Take care. Peace out. Much love. Top of the top.